When rappers get threatened with prison, some of them hold out, but others fold and end up working with the feds. These are rappers who snitch to avoid prison sentences. Lil Cease. All the way back in 2005, Lil Cease ran into a few issues with the law when Lil Kim was convicted of perjury. To avoid a prison sentence himself, he testified against her and has been labeled a snitch ever since. Although Biggie's former protege said he had no other choice because he was subpoenaed, fans still called him a rat. After all, you'd expect a rapper to hold their own in court, regardless of the consequences. Admittedly, however, the case stemmed from a shootout between Kim's camp and Capone's crew outside of Hot 97's studio in 2001. Whether or not Lil Cease snitched, or was forced to, his testimony was damaging, and was also an easy way for him to prevent himself from going to jail. Jimmy Henchman. Jimmy Henchman used to be a hip-hop mogul during the late 90s and early 2000s. He was also a drug kingpin known for laundering money, and in 2011, he was finally caught. To receive a lesser sentence, Henchman gave up details about his operations as well as information on certain associates, including Wyclef's driver and rapper Wyclef himself. He managed to shave time off of his prison sentence, but the price was snitching on his former associates. This, of course, didn't sit well with the rest of the hip-hop world and landed Henchman on the list of hip-hop's biggest snitches. Alpha Mega. Alpha Mega used to have serious street cred, but not after the Smoking Gun website unearthed court documents in 2009 that revealed he had ratted on Atlanta heroin dealer Ali Bakar. After the rapper was charged in a felony gun case back in 1995, he agreed to work with the DEA as an informant to build a bigger case against Bakar. As a result of the testimony, Bakar was found guilty, and Mega received an 18-month reduction on his sentence. This kind of snitching wasn't taken lightly by hip-hop fans all over the world. There's no telling what would have happened to Mega's career had he been honest about his role in the situation. 50 Cent. 50 Cent is a controversial pick when it comes to hip-hop's greatest snitches, because some people believe he actually snitched, while others continue to argue that he didn't. In March of 2000, 50 got into a scuffle with members of Murder Inc., and Ja Rule swore up and down that 50 ran to the police and filed for an order of protection against his crew. Although elements of the document were later proven false by XXL magazine, some of his fans still believe he cooperated with the authorities in some capacity. If this is the case, it would put him atop the list of hip-hop's biggest rats. But until there's proof, the story continues to be shrouded in mystery. Scarface. The year was 2007, and Scarface still had a pretty good reputation in the hip-hop world. But that all changed when Lil Troy released a DVD called Paperwork that claimed to include an affidavit proving Scarface snitched on two of his associates, Byron Keith and George Simmons. The MC denied the accusation, but fans were still skeptical of his involvement with the police. In fact, it's believed that Simmons later wrote a letter from prison stating Scarface had nothing to do with him getting nabbed. Still, it was a very suspect situation overall, and Scarface has been labeled a snitch ever since. Cameron. Cameron once appeared on television, throwing himself in support of the no snitching movement. But after appearing on 60 Minutes, Smoking Gun uncovered documents that showed the rapper had once run to the police and filed a report after being beaten up by a group of men at a Harlem basketball game back in 1999. What makes this story even more embarrassing is the fact that Cameron had previously defended no snitching by saying snitches get stitches. Talk about a flip-flop. A going one way and then going the other just doesn't sit right with a lot of rappers who live by a certain code of honor. It's one thing for a rapper to cooperate with the police, but to actively support a movement and then run to the same cops you're campaigning against, that's low.